10 TSA changes in 2026 that will get you stopped. After booking thousands of flights over 10 years as a travel agent, I can tell you this: 2026 will separate prepared travelers from those paying hundreds in last-minute fees, missing flights, or getting turned away at security entirely. Here are the 10 TSA changes you need to know before your next trip. These aren't small updates, they're major policy shifts that will affect every single person flying through a US airport. I spent a decade watching travelers learn these rules the hard way. Missed connections, confiscated luggage, hours wasted in security lines. You don't have to be one of them. I'm breaking down exactly what's changing, why it matters, and what you need to do right now to avoid disaster. Let's start with the biggest change that's already catching people off guard. Change number 10: Real ID enforcement is no longer optional. On May 7, 2025, the grace period ended. For years, TSA gave warnings. Those warnings are over. In 2026, if you show up with a standard driver's license, even if it's brand new, you're not getting through security without drama. Here's what you need: a driver's license with a gold star in the upper right corner, or a valid passport. That's it, no exceptions. And here's the kicker: just last week in November 2025, TSA proposed an $18 fee for travelers without real ID. They're calling it modernized alternative identity verification. Basically, if approved, travelers without real ID could pay $18 for technology-assisted verification instead of being turned away. But this is still just a proposal. It hasn't been implemented yet. For now, no real ID or passport means you're not flying. A traveler reached out to me last month. Experienced business traveler. He showed up at Chicago O'Hare with his regular license. He'd renewed it 6 months earlier but never checked for the gold star. TSA turned him away at the checkpoint. He missed his flight entirely and had to pay $300 to rebook for the next morning, plus an overnight hotel stay. All because of that tiny gold star. Verify your license today. No gold star, get a passport. It takes 6 to 8 weeks, so don't delay. Change number 9: Your face is your boarding pass. TSA is rolling out facial recognition technology at over 30 major airports through 2026. They're partnering with companies like Clear to install what they call e-gates. Stations where a camera scans your face, matches it to your ID and boarding pass, and waves you through in seconds. This is ramping up specifically for the 2026 World Cup. TSA expects massive crowds and needs to move people faster. Here's how it works: you stand at the e-gate, look at the camera, and within 2 seconds you get a green light to proceed. No handing over documents, no small talk with agents. Just look and go. Now, here's the catch: this is technically voluntary. You can opt out and request manual verification instead. But at busy airports like Atlanta or Chicago, that manual line can add anywhere from 30 to 90 minutes at the busiest airports. A traveler I know who's very privacy conscious opted out at Denver International last month. They stood in line for 87 minutes while the biometric line cleared in under 10. TSA claims they delete your facial data immediately after verification, but the privacy debate continues. Decide now: speed or privacy? Because that choice determines whether you arrive 2 hours early or 3.5. Change number 8: The laptop and liquids rule is disappearing, but inconsistently. TSA is installing court scanners at checkpoints across major airports nationwide. These machines use 3D imaging technology that can see inside your bag clearly enough that you don't need to remove laptops, tablets, or liquids. In fact, the 311 liquid rule, the liquids in a quart-sized bag rule that's been around since 2006, is being phased out at airports with court scanners. Sounds great, right? Here's the problem: not every airport has these scanners yet. The full rollout will take over 10 years. And TSA can't officially change the policy until all airports are equipped, because that would create a security vulnerability. So you get this confusing situation where LAX lets you leave your laptop in your bag, but your connecting flight through a regional airport makes you unpack everything. I flew through Phoenix in September. Court scanners everywhere. Left my laptop in my bag, breezed through. 2 weeks later, connecting through Sacramento, I forgot and left everything packed. Got pulled aside for secondary screening because their older machines flagged my bag. Pro tip: check the airport's website before you travel, but pack as if the 311 rule still applies. Better safe than watching them unpack your entire carry-on. Change number 7: Lithium battery rules went from please be careful to we will confiscate your luggage. This got serious after multiple in-flight fire incidents. Earlier this year, a Southwest flight had to evacuate because someone's battery-powered device caught fire in the overhead bin. TSA isn't playing around anymore. Here are the new rules. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries is now completely banned. If your suitcase has a built-in battery that's hardwired or requires tools to remove, TSA will confiscate the entire bag. The battery must be removable by hand. No screwdrivers, no unzipping the lining to access it. These rules apply across all US airlines, enforced by TSA and the FAA. For power banks in your carry-on, under 100 watt-hours, you're fine. Between 100 and 160 watt-hours, you need airline approval in advance. Over 160 watt-hours, it's banned entirely. And all power banks must be in your carry-on, never in checked bags. When I was working as an agent, I had a client invest $400 in a smart suitcase with built-in USB charging. Beautiful bag. She showed up at Orlando Airport and TSA informed her the battery couldn't be removed. They offered her two choices: abandon the bag or miss her flight. She left a $400 suitcase in a TSA disposal bin. Check your luggage today. If you can't remove the battery without tools, that bag is worthless for air travel now. Change number 6. Airlines are done being nice about carry-on sizes. The dimensions have always existed. 22 by 14 by 9 inches including wheels and handles. But enforcement was spotty. You could usually squeeze by with an oversized bag. Not in 2026. Budget airlines like Spirit and Frontier started it, but now legacy carriers are following. Metal sizes are appearing at every gate. Gate agents are measuring bags aggressively. If your bag doesn't fit, you're forced to check it at the gate. The fee, $65 to $99 on the spot. No arguments, no exceptions. I watched a passenger at Miami argue with a gate agent for 10 minutes about a bag they'd carried on 100 times before. The agent didn't care, $75 and they nearly missed boarding. Measure your bag at home. If it's close, add a 1-inch buffer. Those measurements include wheels, handles, and external pockets. Change number 5. Europe is implementing its own version of ESTA. Starting in late 2026, the exact date has been delayed multiple times. US citizens will need something called ETIAS, European Travel Information and Authorization System. Think of it like the ESTA you need for entering the US, but in reverse. This applies to 30 European countries, even for short tourist stays under 90 days. You apply online, pay €7, about $7.50 in US dollars, and it's valid for 3 years or until your passport expires. Here's the critical part: it's electronically linked to your passport. Forget to apply, and you'll be denied boarding at your departure airport. The airline won't let you on the plane. This is something I've been warning travelers about since the announcement. If you're traveling to Europe in late 2026, apply 3 to 4 weeks before your trip. Don't wait until the week before. System delays happen, and there's no expedited processing. Change number 4. More everyday items are banned. New for 2026, cordless hair tools with butane or gas cartridges, like certain curling irons and hair straighteners, are now prohibited in checked bags. Carry-on is allowed with safety covers. Also banned, any smart device that doesn't clearly display its watt-hour rating on the device itself. And people keep forgetting the classics: snow globes over 3.4 ounces, replica weapons, and martial arts equipment. The weirdest confiscation I ever witnessed as an agent. A passenger trying to bring a full-size jar of homemade salsa through security. She argued it was technically a solid because of the chunks. TSA disagreed. 3 pounds of salsa, gone. Visit tsa.gov and search "what can I bring" before packing anything questionable. Change number 3. TSA PreCheck went from nice to have to essential. Regular security lines at major airports are averaging 60 to 90 minutes. PreCheck averages 5 to 10. The cost is $78 to $85 for 5 years. Basically $16 to $17 per year. New in 2026, PreCheck is adding facial biometrics to the existing fingerprint requirement for applicants. Renewal is moving to mobile and in-airport enrollment to make it easier. Back when I was booking travel, I had clients miss a cruise departure because they didn't have PreCheck. Got stuck in the security line for an hour and 40 minutes at Fort Lauderdale. Missed the ship by 12 minutes. Apply today. Appointments book 3 to 4 weeks out. Change number 2. Keep medications in original packaging. TSA is recommending medications stay in their original prescription bottles with your name on the label. Over-the-counter meds should stay in original packaging when possible. Weekly pill organizers are red flags for secondary screening. If you need liquid medications over 3.4 ounces, carry a doctor's note. I once had a client delayed for 45 minutes at JFK because their blood pressure medication was in an unmarked daily dispenser. They had the prescription on their phone, but TSA still called the pharmacy to verify. Pack meds in pharmacy bottles. Keep a backup supply in your checked bag, just in case. Change number 1. Summer 2026 will be the most chaotic travel season in years. The FIFA World Cup is being hosted across the US, Canada, and Mexico from June through July. Millions of international travelers all converging at once. Airports are implementing all these changes specifically to prepare. Even if you're not attending the World Cup, you'll feel the impact. Major hubs like New York, Los Angeles, Miami, and Dallas will be overwhelmed. My advice: avoid summer 2026 entirely if you can. Travel in April, May, or wait until September. If you must fly in June or July, add 3 hours to your domestic airport arrival time, 4 hours for international. Book now and avoid World Cup host cities if possible. Let's recap the 10 TSA changes that will stop you in 2026. Real ID enforcement with an $18 alternative fee proposal. Biometric face scans at 30+ airports. Court scanners phasing out laptop and liquid rules inconsistently. Strict lithium battery requirements. Aggressive carry-on size enforcement. ETIAS required for Europe starting late 2026. Expanded prohibited items list. TSA PreCheck becoming essential, not optional. Tighter medication packaging rules. And World Cup chaos all summer long. Here's what you do right now. Verify your driver's license for the Gold Star. Measure your carry-on bag. Apply for TSA PreCheck. And if you're traveling to Europe in late 2026, set a reminder to apply for ETIAS. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more travel agent secrets. Drop a comment and tell me which rule will affect you the most. And stick around. My next video reveals 10 cruise cabin mistakes that cost travelers $500 or more. Travel smarter, spend less, experience more. I'm Travel Agent Tells All, and I'll see you at 30,000 feet.